don't need to wear any clothes. Any of the non-essential clothes, of course. So I'm just sat here in my socks, ready to go. Let's get on to bind, baby. And already, you know, there is a big smile on my face because my man Mystic, my one true love in this life, has picked Viper. I love you, Mystic. This is going to make me biased towards SUMN FC and say they'll take the series. What about you, Banks? Where are you going on this?
I, for one, think that SUMN have the upper hand in it because the SUMN we saw just on the first game that they had here was a better looking SUMN mechanically, right? There's one thing when they came into it as underdogs in First Strike main event because they weren't signed, people didn't know the names so well. Boaster, chap, they've got a bit of high-level experience in Counter-Strike, but the rest of them are relatively unknown. They've built this from the ground up. They've had the strategy. They've had the ideas and to think outside the box. You spoke about it yourself, Boaster wanting to be this mini Angel. Well, actually, he's overtaken Angel, right, in some parts of it. So you got to look at this team now and think, what was the bit they needed to add to their skill? Well, it was the aim. It was the crosshair placement. It was feeling more comfortable in certain situations. Well, guess what? They have mastered that if that first game was anything to show us. Now they've got to go up against the likes of Liquid and Scream, for instance, and be able to do it. I think they've got a good chance in it, and I feel like Liquid right now, they're probably the ones on the back foot here a bit.
This is a slow start to the pistol, so I'm going to bring up, we've got 2 Skies, first of all. And Yinsu actually told me in chat, I'm going to freak out when I see the composition of SUMN FC on both maps, so I'm excited to see the second one. But starting this one out, obviously, we've got a Sky, we've got the Brimstone, and we've got the beautiful old Viper. So I'm loving SUMN FC's comp, and I like that Team Liquid, again, are going to be innovating and looking for new compositions. This is the second bind, excuse me, that we've gotten to see, but the first one that you and I have gotten to cast, Banks, and certainly the first for Liquid and SUMN FC this year. So we get to see their different approaches, and with 1 minute left on the clock, there's still not really been any engagement. We had a little bit of info gained on B long, but a full rotate and an A hit just about to come on through. The alarm bot destroyed, and a molly to stop any further aggression, but they're coming straight up mid from SUMN FC, using the wall to get into lamps and open up this site. Hopefully, all they have to worry about is Bath, and maybe Scream if he pushes through.
Yeah, that's something you always should be scared of. Scream pushing through at any point to see what damage he can do. He's been looking good on this Jet, and he's going to look to try and get some of the opening kills here, but he takes a lot of damage. And SUMN, well, they've got him with the plant. The heal's going to come straight into Scream. It's Sky healing him up as much as possible. Doma's position is one that can be easily checked, but he can do some nice damage. He can keep him out of lamps for now. The fake tap onto the defuse comes in. Shots start to be landed. It's Liquid that'll pick up the opening kill. Now it's the battle back, but they're falling for the trap. Liquid was set up and ready for it. Someone need to make a move, and they need to push up over this. You saw Scream. He flew up, drafted up high to get some extra information, but Chak, he's not going to win that. They're all around him, completely focused down. And now Boaster, he's wanting to play around this turret. Mystic's there as well to swing around at it. He's only picking up 1 kill. It's already tapping away quite fast. Have they got this? No! Oh my god, SUMN, they bought enough time.
That is absolutely massive by SUMN. I thought, you know what, if he gets this kill, they win the round. But no, they had it in the bag already, delaying enough time. They say the sky is the limit, and for SUMN, that has definitely been the case over the last couple of months. Well, the exception of Heretics. But hopefully sky is going to be the limiting factor for Chak. I'm excited to see what he can bring to the table. Already, we're seeing a little bit of poking out, grabbing information, exactly what Sky is good for. And for those of you that don't know about this agent, it's worth mentioning. Her flashes are not only controllable, so you throw them out and you can actually, just like a little drone, fly them around the place in whatever direction you want. You choose when to pop them as well. And if you blind somebody, it tells you that they're blind. This is useful because right now, for example, he's just flashed into back. Nobody got blind, so he knows there's no one there, but he's going to double check. You always got to be careful when you're up against pistols and not leave a corner completely exposed. Now they know we can nice and clean push up Bath and take that control. They use the wall to block off Lambs from taking a peek and now get these players worried that they've already pushed out to the A site. That causes the rotate from Scream now coming in through the defender spawn to reinforce the A site because they haven't got information. Any second now, a push could come in on A, but it's the B side. It's a big fake, a big ruse, and now they've got a weakened B defense of just 2 players to push on into.
One thing here, right, that we're going to see, and I want a lot of players, if you're playing Sky in your ranked games, look at how these two are going to use Sky. It might be different approaches to it, but we don't see enough of correct usage of Sky in and out of games when we're playing right now. And in terms of what someone will offer on this round, well, you do expect them to kind of run on and charge on forward against Liquid here. More flashes going through to see if they're going to get the sound cue for it, like you mentioned, Mitch. Spike will go down. Boaster's nicely covered off here. Chak just sat back, ready to fire off whenever's needed.
Poison's off.
And for Liquid, a 3-man retake when you have lesser weapon, you don't hope much in here. Maybe you can try and grab yourself a weapon or two. But a setup again, and the one thing we always should be praising someone on is their after plant position. They play off each other so well. The problem is, like we saw in one of the games, the first game they played, right, that sometimes they can be made to feel uncomfortable if they can't get into those positions. But their setups and where they want to be and where they want to place themselves are huge.
Exactly. Look, for SUMN FC, though, the decision-making in this round was so good. They avoided every possible problem that you could face up against the weaker weapons. We start with the fake out on A, using Viper utility alongside Sky to clear out Bathroom, make the players inside of Lamp very cautious and passive. They're then worried about the full push, so they rotate Scream over. Now B is weaker. Then they put a drone, so SUMN FC all this while are rotating around. They go outside of Hookah, they drone through, again, making sure that a Classic, a Shorty, any of these weapons aren't stuck in a corner or a crossfire setup ready to take them out. They clear out Hookah, then look to push the B site. The fight, because they've lost Hookah, because they have no information on the A, Team Liquid have to peek down long. Either that or just wait and probably lose the round. So they try to make a play, they rush out, and there's two players waiting for them. Mystic shreds them to pieces, they get the site, then it's a 5v3. And as you said, you know, a retake with lesser weapons like that, disadvantages as they were, you're never really going to get away with a clean scenario. So overall, really impressive stuff from SUMN FC on an individual and on a team level. Straight out of the gate. That's what I expect to see from them, and what I was always saying in First Strike, that even if they didn't end up coming out on top and dominating, it didn't matter, because this team just needed time, much like a lot of teams in the early stage of Valorant, right, that we're in, to grow. And man, oh man, they've sprouted into a beautiful tree. It's like a cherry blossom.
I love it. I absolutely love it. Are you seeing this technical pause on your screen, right?
Yeah, I'm just going through here. Tech pause for SUMN FC. Okay, so one of the guys in SUMN FC is having a little bit of a tech issue. I was hoping I could kind of just monologue through that round and we'd get back into the game, but the tech. Oh, now Chak is DC'd, so that's going to take a minute.
You know what we can do? Yeah, we can go into the mad podcast.
Oh,
no, we don't want it. Already, yeah, people have heard us sing enough times. We don't want any more of that.
That's true.
But what we should look at this, right? And I want to ask you a question on how this works out. The Brimstone versus Omen for Bind. For me, I've always preferred Brimstone on Bind even before the buff, yeah? And now we're seeing even Liquid decide to stick on the Omen for it. For me, I'm not a big fan of that. I love what Liquid Fire does in crazy compositions and changing things up here. But for me, I think Bind, because of the size of it, especially when you're executing, you 100% want the Brimstone smokes in play.
So, yeah, there's a couple of upsides and a couple of downsides. Having the Brimstone obviously allows you to take that super aggressive, super fast push play that we will see from a lot of teams, that we saw debuted by Angel of FPX when everybody was playing the Omen. He was the only one that was entry fragging with Brimstone first of all, but then that was even playing Brimstone at a certain point. And to just further build on what you're saying, for people at home that maybe don't know as much about the differences, Omen, you put out your smokes one at a time. You've got 2 max. They regenerate over the round. Brimstone, you have 3. They don't regenerate, but you can put them all down at once within a certain range, which in a recent patch was increased. So you can actually put the smokes down from further away, meaning that your position isn't as relevant as it was before, meaning that he's more viable, right? Because he's more versatile in the things you can do with him and where you can do them from. Now, the advantage of these smokes, they last a hell of a long time now, by the way, because they upped the timer on them. But the advantage is, think about the A site on Bind. And if you don't know the A site on Bind, if you're brand new, go back in the VOD or look up A site Bind. Get a picture of it. There's a lot of angles. It's very, very open. And if you're pushing that site with an Omen, it's going to be quite difficult to effectively smoke off every angle for your push. That's where someone like a Jet can be useful on Ascent, as we said before, where there's minimal angles. But even with a Jet, it's so damn open. It's difficult to use. We've seen it in the past where you'll use Jet smokes to block up the holes and then go in and put a Sage Wall up. But in general, you're going to want those Brimstone smokes, pop them down. You can block off every angle on A and they last a long time, whereas that's not the case if you've got an Omen. So there is a trade-off, but Omen's flash, I wasn't sure how long we had, Banks, so I was ready for that to be a long point. But Omen's flash is very effective for clearing out Hookah, for clearing out Lamps, but we won't talk too much about that because they're already barreling forward as Boaster quickly grabs himself a kill off the back of the Sky Flash. Now they're looking to isolate Eccles. He's all by his lonesome. He turns from the flash, gets a kill on Doma, holds down the control, but he's being hunted, and I don't think he's got much of a chance there.
A good trading game considering the lesser weaponry here for Summon. But now Scream has to be very careful on a going round like this. Sheriff in hand, he taps away, but he can't find any success of it. Plant's going to come in and Poach is going to provide some cover. Stim Beacon coming into full effect as well. Get him charged up to fight further forward. But they've now allowed Scream to be able to get his hands on this Phantom. Oh, the Hellfire comes in. Forces Scream out of position. He runs straight forward. They're still trading out though. This could be a one for Liquid to try and pick up here. Mo's tucked away in bathroom. His position is not going to be checked. He's going to hear the information. He's heard both players running forward and can pass it on as well. Chap playing off from the side. Easy first headshot landed. Spots out the second player as well. And now Link is certainly done for. Too many angles to check. Too many players to find. He's going to try and work his way into the first kill. Locks it down to start off with. Taps it again, but will he bait it out? He's sticking it. He's waiting it off. He doesn't want to force into him. And Mo runs through. Nicely done with a 3-0. And the bonus round in for Summon. Okay, they had a couple of Phantoms in there, but not everyone had fully upgraded. So that's something beautiful to work with. And Liquid now, they got to be scared.
You know, I love the kind of poetic irony in that last round of Link swinging on Chak and taking the frag when Chak knew where he was. Because actually, just before the game, we had a little bit of an issue where Link was on 1,000 ping. Now, you know, I've heard arguments, you know, 100 ping versus 70, yada, yada. 1,000's pretty extreme. It's hard to play on that. So they were potentially going to have Sliggy to come in there. But, we got it from our observers. Chak had actually said in the lobby chat, thank God Link came back. Connor is so much better. That's Sliggy, their coach. He's saying, thank God, because the coach is so much better than Link. And then Link wins out that 1v1 duel. So that was, it's a nice little bit of, oh, I'm bad, am I? Because I just killed you. What does it make you? It's all banter among friends. That's the thing I love about Valorant as well. I don't think we have any like actual aggressive rivalries, right? Everybody's friends. Even boasters saying like, I respect Angel so much, I want to be him. It's like, we don't get that in too many other games. We're just, everybody's, you know, happy and pally. I just can't wait for a LAN event and get everybody together.
Yeah, as long as you're fighting out on the server, I'm happy for the love outside of it. That's how it should be. Team Liquid though for now, they need to find a way to get a round on the board. This is going to be a tough one with a lack of weaponry in play. And Doma was smart there. The flash doesn't get him. Means they didn't have the information straight away, but this push on up with the molly going forward is going to create the extra space for him. Smoke's about to be deployed at the same time.
30 seconds left.
Interesting by Chak. He's clearing this out. So now they know that there's only going to be one player here. The rest of those orbs are going towards spawn. They know exactly where he is. Oh, they can't quite win the fight just yet. There it is. Sight's clear. Wall goes up. That wall's being put down as a fake, but also it's there every single round, so you can't tell if they're faking or if they're fully here. Scream, though. Ult up online. Dashes out on sight. Takes a frag, and now waits for his teammates. This is winnable for Liquid. They have ults online still, and there's the final one going out for Sky. The information gained. The player's spotted, but Scream has to force the fight on the Stinger. Cryptic's there to save the day, but still a 2v2. Time is ticking. Liquid ain't got a lot to work with here. They have to force the fight quickly. Utility is gone. Scream got to be the one that swings out, catches the first, but they have no idea. Mystic could be waiting in Bath to swing out and take them. They go for the defuse, and he takes a frag to put Scream on low HP with no time. That is an easy win now for Mystic, and a fourth for Summon FC. Really well fought out round for Liquid, considering where they started from, though, because they only had weak weapons like Stingers, and they made this a very costly round for Summon, not just in weaponry, but also in ultimate economy.
The Seekers from Sky on both sides were used to perfection. For Summon, they were able to push on out with it, know that the site was clear with only one player being Eccles on the site. And then when it came from Liquid, they did it to push their way around and take the fight aggressively to the members that it would first find, keeping them busy, keeping their hands tied. Beautiful stuff, and this is what we wanted to see. Sky high level play coming in. Summon get the fourth round, but even it got close, right? There was a way in where Liquid could have been able to grab it. Now Scream's going to find himself very aggressively in the bathroom. He's trying to stay up, he's trying to stay long, but he can't get it done. They're overrunning him and gunning him down. Eccles does well to even find a kill in a situation like that, but Liquid is still going to find themselves on the back foot. Cryptic's playing towards Lamps. He needs to be sure that he's not going to be spotted out here. They expect he could be close, and he's going to try and take the fight. Shot's not going to land, and Summon, they are just overrunning Liquid at every stage of the game here. And Link, well, he's trying to get a lurk on go, but that's not going to work out. He was heavily outnumbered and outgunned. And 5 in a row now for Summon. And this is the attack side we've come to know and love from these boys.
You know, I'm also loving the fact that that Viper wall is just going down there at the start of every single round. That's something that I mentioned in the previous, but just to further build on it, when a Viper puts her wall down, for example, if you only push the site where the wall goes down, it becomes pretty obvious when it goes through, hey guys, rotate, you know, they're coming B, they're coming A. By only using this one over the last couple of rounds, you're now getting Liquid in a point where they can't plan ahead of time, and you have this utility that you can use in so many different ways to get inside their head, to open up spaces, as we've seen in just the second round, right, where it's used to keep the lamp player at bay. We can use it to, what they did in the previous round, fake out the B site, cause the rotates, use the ult of Sky to clear out those angles and make sure you know exactly where the players are, then push forward, not worried about the rotations from spawn because it's blocked off by the wall. There's so much value being presented by this Viper right now on the attack side. And then obviously on the defense as well, we've seen a number of different ways that she can be used to assist the B defenders if she's playing A, to slow down those A pushes with the orb and with the snake bite.
Yeah.
Really, I'm just surprised more people aren't playing Viper. But I'm happy Mystic is. Oh, look at that!
No,
That's an even better one! What a lineup!
He was not ready for that, and instantly he's dealt with it. It may have been a headshot, but it wouldn't have mattered either way. Scream goes up high, and Doma puts him down. More utility being thrown at them, and Link, he can't even escape. It's all going wrong for Liquid and Summon. They are just large and in charge, running and gunning Liquid down, and they are just looking like a well-drilled machine. This is a scary-looking Summon.
I mean this from the bottom of my heart. I love you, Mystic. Marry me. This guy.
Wait,
oh my
God. Cannot do this.
Now, you know what? Dinner's on me in the first land, Mystic. We're going out. No, not with Banks. Just you and me. We're getting candles in the middle. It's got violins. I'm going to hire a whole, I don't know what they're called, bunch of people to play violins. It's going to be gorgeous. It's beautiful. That lineup that he just had for the snake bite, it just completely clears that corner. You'll see people use a variety of different things to clear it, like an aftershock, but it doesn't account for the height of players being boosted up on top. That one does. It just, you cannot stand there, and you take double damage when the fight comes through. You barely any time to react and get out of it. Gorgeous stuff.
The key part is, right, not only the fact it made him vulnerable, but it also forced him out of position. He didn't want to stay there any longer, right? So he was just in a lose-lose situation. Liquid, though, in this round, going to find the first opening. Mo's there, though, just slapping him down. The refrag's coming back in, but the rest of his team might be falling around him. Doma didn't know which angle to look at for that fight, and now it's all going to be back up to Mo. It's a 1v2. It's certainly not impossible here. He's got a good amount of health as well, and his ult online. He's seeking out for extra information. Catches Scream, who quickly updrafts himself out of the equation.
Well, they like to... You know, Mo's fans say there's some Mo's in this house after a recent song, pop song. There is ammo, and he's looking to take these frags. Very nearly got it done. What I loved about this round here was the reaction play off of Cryptic's throwing in the Nano Swarm, and there was a small little gap for the player to sneak through. I can't actually remember who it was. It happened so quickly, but they did. Made the read immediately, and this is something about Summon that I have to compliment them on. It's not just their setups and their early round planning to close things out. Like, it's not just that they're clean when things go according to plan, but it's also in reading and reacting as a team and as individuals to utility being thrown out or situations evolving from what your enemies are doing. That's going to be tested this round, though, Banks, because look at the ults from Team Liquid.
And the aggression early on from Scream. You saw the flash go out. They're now going to use the Tiger Talisman to push on further forward. Scream's going to find himself having to, again, dash out of the way. He can't stand them fighting barbs. There's a lot of control they're fighting for over here. It's allowing Summon to get the ult orb 9 times out of 10. Liquid have not really been able to challenge it. Now Scream wants to continue to maneuver his way forward. Plays out with the knives, but only gets to fire one before Chak shuts him down. This is beautiful stuff from Summon. Over and over again, they're just making the right read.
There's still a lot to deal with. A lot, and especially with Boaster falling, those are your smokes completely gone. And in terms of the utility and the ultimates available for Liquid, as we said, you know, they'd already popped one, the Blade Storm, but they still have Lockdown and everything else that goes along with it with the rest of their agents. I think for Summon FC, this is going to be a pretty tough one. They've got to force some fights quickly before space is given for Liquid and time starts to run out. With 35 seconds left, there's a lot of stopping ability on Team Liquid, and honestly, at this point, it seems like this should be their round. But look at the players on B. They've got lockdown, but where it's going to be popped, they could get in there on time, especially with Echo's falling. Now they need to force the fight straight on up, and in fact, didn't even notice the Hunter's Fury was there for Mo. He pops it, destroys the lockdown, puts away his ult, and peeks Cryptics. What an animal. There's a frag. There's the man advantage. There's even Viper's pit erected on the B site. This could be it.
It really could be it. This is problematic for Liquid. Soulcast, he continues to go on the hunt. He wants to try and fight off this. Ray's ult's coming in, but Mystic backs away, and that's the smart play right here and now. Oh, no timing, Mystic! He was hoping it may not be fired off in his direction, and they were stuck on the spike. Mo tries to do as much damage as possible, but Liquid do secure themselves the second round. But Mitch, they had to commit so much to that. And look at the money. Summon a stack for cash, while Liquid, well, it's already dwindling.
Now, the position that Mystic's ultimate was popped from, I don't know if it was intentional to just give them control over elbow, but the problem was, whatever happened, because obviously one of the things people have been asking for a while as a sort of buff to Viper that doesn't actually change anything about her abilities, is that you can see the radius of the ult on the map before you pop it, so you can decide exactly where to put it, because sometimes it can be hard to read. And you saw right there, it didn't conceal the spike, so they couldn't really force the fight in it. They're pushed back through elbow by that ultimate from Raze, and they just stick it. So whether Mystic wanted to or not, he had to run forward and hope the Raze wasn't going to hit him with that ult, because otherwise they were going to lose the round as they did from the spike being diffused. Really well done by Liquid to read into that and see the flaw in the ultimate usage. It did cost them a lot, but it cost SUMN FC a lot as well. They, again, committed the majority of their old Sky Viper and, was it the Hunter's Fury as well that came through from Sova? So it cost both teams a lot, and for Liquid, getting that second round on the board is invaluable. They needed to do that soon because they were starting to fall behind massively. Now on the defensive side, you can see that they're still playing quite passive, actually. And this Wolf, oh, they shot it. It was out of range to actually spot them, but now they know there's a player outside of B. But I think that's intentional because the majority of the players are grouping outside of A, and Sova now droning out Hookah. This is telling the players on the B site that they should stay there. And then I don't think Eccles... Did he see anybody? I think they were tucked away.
Well, the wall's gone up once again here.
30 seconds left.
Someone will find their way towards the A site. Eccles trying to get rid of his positions after to teleport out of there. Took a little bit of damage, but will still be finished off by Poacher. The attack's coming on in, and SUMN, again, are winning all the duels. Scream's going to try and make some magic happen with a work on the flank, but it's not going to be very ideal. The setup again from SUMN is going to be strong. He's heavily outnumbered, and maybe now it's just all about damage control. They have so much to work with here. This is just textbook executes from SUMN. And now winning the duel well and looking better on the individual level. Like, straight in, Jack.
Yep. And he heals up his teammate. Everybody's happy and healthy except for poor Jack. Of course, he can't.
He can't heal himself, yeah.
Can't heal himself, exactly. It's one of the problems. But when you're... well, what you said there was actually a point I want to build on even further. Like, you're saying this textbook executes by SUMN FC. And the thing is, we don't actually have enough time to explain everything they're doing. Like, for example, 5 rounds ago, when they pushed the A site, there was a wall up. They used the Sky Flash to curve it through the Viper wall, so the guys that are standing on site, or in lamps, they don't see anything. A Sky Flash comes through, and it's not like with Phoenix, for example, where you'll need to perfectly distance yourself from the wall and throw the curveball through it so it pops just in time and it'll still make a sound cue. With this bird, you just put it through, instantly press it to activate it, and they don't have time to react. They're full blind. Your teammate is hiding behind the wall, literally 1 inch away, and they're not blind. They can run through that wall, take the fight onto a fully blind opponent, easy peasy. And they're like, these small things, we almost need like a half-an-hour telestrator segment for this game to go through all the things that are happening, because there's so much that isn't normal. Seeing a Viper, first of all, seeing a Sky, secondly, and then seeing the two of them together.
This is the thing, right? We almost need like a whole halftime break, a 5-minute show to kind of go over some of the smaller details that people may not notice from these kind of things. And that's the beauty of when you get a team like SUMN or FDX, for example. They have these lineups, they have these setups that are really hard to deal with. And you can see that for Liquid right now. They're finding themselves in potentially good positions, right? They know in terms of aim what they can deliver. But then SUMN, they're able to play off what they have ready every single time. And again, we're seeing the Tiger taken down, destroyed. And they can just use this, right? Keep destroying it. One player there, you give away one player's position, but you never know where someone's going to go next. That information, that's huge, because that'll give him the blinded noise. Eccles is going to push on out with a frenzy. He does kind of go on a bit of a delayed push out, though. SUMN do have the better weapons, so, okay, we expect him to win it like that. But that wasn't exactly like the perfect timing for Liquid there. The synergy wasn't all together on that push.
30 seconds left.
Well, for Liquid in that situation, they didn't really worry about whether there were one, two, three, 4, or 5 opponents that had been flashed, right? Obviously, you don't have that information. But when you're on those pistols and you know, okay, there's a player in mid, they could be alone, you're like, screw it, let's just push him, let's go for it. That's why they all come through TP, they all try to crunch in and get the kills, and they get one. Now it's just about doing as much damage as possible and potentially trying to recover this round. It is feasible, but with the players that they have, no cloudbursts on Scream. Not so much the players, rather. That's not a diss at Scream. It's the agents in particular. It's very unlikely to work, and Mo and Doma easily closed that one out. And you even had a nice lineup being shown there from Mystic. He's playing way back behind middle, and he can throw through the snakebite onto the spike from there. One thing I'll also say, actually, I'm realizing I need to brush up, like, not so much on knowing them, but on quickly shouting out the Sky utility, because we never, I don't think we've cast Sky. Maybe we did one game with Sky in it, but it's so rare. Yeah, okay.
Remember on the NA side of things, we saw it.
Oh, of course, yeah, over in NA. But that's the thing, so like, I'm so not used to it. It always gets me like, oh, Sky's put out her ultimate, the little things, the little squids.
Good old Seekers.
Oh. Well, I really thought that one was going to work out, but poor old Scream's just being done inside a hookah. They smoke it out. They use their own ult to counter out what had been used before and push on through. I think at this point, for SUMN FC, you're pretty confident because Mystic, my man, is being escorted towards the depths of B long. They're clearing this out, making sure he's still going to be alive. And this is a really important fact. Look at how concentrated they are at their back because they have Mystic. They know that that B side is secure for them because he can throw over the snake bites, which are on their way now.
Roman's got himself in a great spot as well. He gets the information to fight off. Also spots out Eccles, tries to spray up against him, but it's Soulcast that'll best him in that one. Liquid now in a 3v3, but that bomb is ticking away. Liquid still picking up nice amount of kills. Mystic doesn't have to face it. He just about escapes in the nick of time. He's got the combat stim as well. He'll get the kill, and SUMN will get the 9th round. Liquid, so close, yet so far on many of these rounds. If you're just tuning in and look at the scoreline, you're thinking, oh, SUMN are just rolling over them. Okay, certainly Liquid's individuals aren't on point, but a few of these rounds now have been very, very close.
This is the thing for SUMN FC right there. There was actually a hiccup. Mystic's Poison Orb went slightly too far to the right of where the spike was. So there was an opportunity for Liquid to get on that and defuse, but I think they'd been almost conditioned into fearing it. Because if you get hit by that Poison Orb and by a snake bite, you're dead. You cannot sit inside that and defuse the spike. It's not possible, even to get it halfway. And that's if you're probably already going to be tagged up as well in the crossover. I love how SUMN FC played that, especially like they have so much to counter once they get that spike down. They have the Molly of Brim, they have the Snake Bites, they have the Poison Cloud from Viper, and then in this situation, for example, they have Hunter's Fury as well. So basically, their main challenge is getting onto the site. Post plants, once they can set up into them, it's no problem, really. And it's very rare to see a team like that get onto B, plant the spike, and not push elbow, not keep hookah control, just back off and watch the back for the flanker and protect Mystic, and protect one player who's going to play post plant.
Doma packs himself as far as he can. Oh, the shot could... Oh, he doesn't decide to fire it. He just lets it run out. There could have been a kill going his way, but instead it's Soulcast who managed to best him as Doma was trying to sneak on forward that little bit further. Now Eccles, being oh so cautious here, wants to try and get the flank on go, but again, it's the setup from SUMN. They're ready for all of this. Chak straight away with the opening kill. No problem at all. He's got his ultimate out and they'll get the extra information he needs. The Seekers, they start to seek out everything he needs to find. And he's just looking for one more kill up in it. Mystic's there to back him up as well. And again, Summon, they're in such a great spot. The fight's coming out though, and that flash did work do wonders. But it's straight away poster coming out of bathrooms. They're being overrun and overdone. Once time again, it gets close for Liquid, but it doesn't even matter as we get a 10-2 scoreline. And Mitch, it's these crazy late explosive moments from Liquid where you think they might have a chance, but Summon, they're on top of it.
This is a devastating loss, irrespective of what map it is, of the composition that Summon FC are playing, that I have no doubt is going to be maybe not a brand new challenge. Perhaps they will have faced it from other teams, but even then, it's quite likely that Team Liquid haven't played against this kind of composition before. Certainly not this playstyle and composition. So when you're Summon FC, this is somewhere that you have now completely surprised your opponent. You've shattered their morale. There's the moment I was talking about earlier, by the way. Mo realizing there's a gap in that nanoswarm and getting a kill off the back of the brave play to push through the smoke. But yeah, for Summon FC, they've just completely destroyed Liquid's happiness. Their hope, it's gone, right? They need Princess Leia to come along. Or they are Princess Leia, right? They're looking for their Obi-Wan. Because they've maybe got one hope, but that's about it. And now it's time for them to see if they can find it. Summon FC on the defensive side, and again, showing us some, I wouldn't say brand new walls, but some different ones than what we had seen the majority of Viper players using, just to cut off Bath, allow for early aggression, for the map control to go their way, but also for an exit from Mo. If he gets challenged and sees 2 to 3 players, that wall can just go up, and he can cross back over out of Bath and into the A side pretty much for free.
Trying to find his way in, but Doma with a frenzy close range, and he's not done just yet. He will be finished off as he did have some low health. And finally, Liquid have an advantage in this as the plant starts to go down. Spike on the floor. Link got himself in the tube. Oh, he can get around that though. He's not going to be pushed out of position. His position's going to be revealed instead. He just can't catch a break. Now into the 2v2. Both players stuck out towards B long. Mystic can keep him at bay. That's a nice... It's going to do damage as well. It's huge, actually. I didn't think it was going to reach him. Oh, and so close at the end. It's Soulcast that will land the double headshots. That was brilliant.
So the snake bite there, I mean, the range is massive on that thing, but it did look like there was a small gap because he was just sat inside it. But the thing is, snake bite, it really doesn't do that much damage. If there's a poison cloud as well, that's why on the diffuse, it's rather in the post plant on the attacking side, it's very important to have your poison cloud on top of the spike as well as your snake bites, because the damage alone, you can still full stick a spike on it. But it's the double damage that you get. Combine that with the fact that the poison cloud decays you and takes your health away anyways, you're dead very quickly. But right there, they took the gamble, right? They waited until Flash could come through, until Solkas could peek with his teammate, and then Cryptic swings, knows he's dead, but hopes Solkas can trade it. And that's one of those shots at the buzzer that you don't expect to land, but when it does, hey, you'll take those rounds. And no better time for Liquid to get it. Now at 10-3. Still, very unlikely they win this, but there is a chance, there is an opportunity. They need to close this one out. Cryptics, he was in trouble from far away, and he still is. Luckily, the right-click RNG for Mystic doesn't work out, and that will be 10-4, clean as can be. A nice, flawless round for Liquid to start off the comeback.
Start off the comeback, does that mean you believe?
God, no. But I want to give the people out there some hope, you know?
Well,
gotta pretend to be a positive
away
person.
from them by saying, God, no. It wasn't even like, oh, maybe just a straight.
You didn't need to ask me, you know? We could have went on, lived in a fairy tale world, but hey, it's possible.
You know me, I love
it
a
is.
fairy tale.
I know that, but like, when you're Summon FC, 10 rounds, this is like a 90% win rate for them at this point. They shouldn't be losing this. But it's Team Liquid. It's been a shaky start to a new composition, but maybe now they've got the hang of it. Maybe this is where they see the real value of this kind of comp, because there is a lot of promise here on the attacking side if they can maneuver together and use their abilities in unison to catch Summon FC off guard. So there's a chance. I'm just not going to be betting on it.
We've got to remember, though, this is the home ground of Summon. We're moving on to Icebox for the second map. which is the home ground for Team Liquid, but also a map that we saw SUMN is willing to play and one they're well versed in. This 2021 season for Valorant in Europe has already got us very excited.
I've got your trail.
We're starting to see the reasons why. Now the Seekers are being deployed very early on here. He's having to face all of it. Goma straight away with their kills, but he's only going to get one this time around. Chak's going to go and get the extra information in there, and he did spot out Scream. So someone should have a good idea that's coming towards the B site. It's all about how they position themselves over here and get themselves ready for it.
Beacon here.
Leaving only the Sova on the A site. The push has fully come in now from Liquid, and it's Boaster and Mystic locking it down. He runs out of bullets though. It's so unfortunate, but Chak comes at the right time to deny the plant. And now Eccles is all alone. He's got a Spectre, but he needs to be able to try and upgrade if he can. He's got some time to play with, but he doesn't know where they're coming from. Finds himself a Phantom to maybe make himself more comfortable, but his head is showing here. Oh, the shot dart hits him so hard. 14 health. Chak walks around the corner, and it's an easy finish off for SUMN FC.
And they're going to get that diffuse onto the Sova, obviously realizing the value that can be brought from the Hunter's Fury getting his ult online. That's a real shame for Liquid. If the start of that round, the push into Hookah, Sulcus pops his ultimate. And actually, first pops the flash, then the ultimate. I say the other way around probably would have brought them a little bit more, right? You pop the ult, you throw the flash through there, blind Seeker gives him away. And then the swing was a little bit late as well. Again, I think this is one of those things. This is the first time I'm seeing Sulcus on a Sky, no doubt. Fairly new to the agent, right? Sure, you play it in matchmaking and all that sort of stuff, but and scrims even, but it's very different in officials to play it out. And so this is where you're going to see some hiccups like that. But that was really well done by someone to find that kill at least before losing one. And from that point, the trades just keep on rolling in their favor. Even on that site, when they lose Boaster, the fact that you can push up elbow and trade it out. Eccles, so he's being spotted right side, but there's the benefit of that wall. Now, okay, it wasn't actually used to back the player up, but you can see exactly how it would work to get Mo out of a sticky situation. How he's been in there, that ultimate's so dangerous. Scream doesn't have a dash, and he's killed by it as well.
Scream! So unlucky. Desperate tried to get out, but escaping lamps when the ultimate goes down like that is too difficult. It's far too difficult. If you're even like halfway in, you're not escaping that.
And he just dashed in as well.
Yeah.
That's the thing. So his one way to escape was gone straight away. Oh, nice nade. Gonna do damage. Swing after. That's a free kill. You would have imagined, but Cryptics, he saves the day. Here's the showstopper for value. And Doma lit to 33. Swing from Bat as Eccles closes out that frag and leaves Daddy Chak all alone. A 1v4. And he's looking to get some frags. Catching Cryptics off to start with. You know there's two players to the right, presumably after the heal. But where's the Bath player? Where is he hiding? Tucked away. He hit that!
Jack!
He actually hit that on Link. That's disgusting, but luckily Eccles, who had gone undetected on the left side, was the one that that got the trade. But even then, you could see that Chak was planning for someone being there because he quickly peeked, took the shot, and he was running away to then probably take the fight onto left side.
Some really nice shots from Chak there. Not enough to help him grab the round, and Liquid will get another on their attack inside. But you almost feel like it's super uncomfortable here for Team Liquid over and over again in these rounds.